Hello, everyone.
Are you not going to introduce yourself? Jesus Christ.
Well.
Where? I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amber.
I'm single Sarah.
And we're Untitled Living Network. The guardians of the network. And this is our official review. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, me and Amber went and saw this while it was in theaters. Was it opening weekend or was it a little bit later?
No, it was opening weekend.
Are you sure? Because I remember seeing the Mary Poppins things all over the internet before I ever knew what it was. It had to have been like Sunday or something.
It was the next,
It seems like I had to work the weekend it came out.
Yeah, so it was like your next off days we went.
Okay.
I think. I don't. Anyway.
So,
but I haven't seen it. It was my first time.
Yeah,
Yes.
this was Sarah's first time.
So,
and,
since this was your first time watching it.
Feels like the first time. Feels like the very first time. Sorry. I'm good now.
What'd you think of the movie, Sarah?
I thought it was awesome.
What was better, the music or the movie?
I don't know. They're both really good.
No, they're both really good.
Like
They complement each other really well, don't you think?
Yeah, like Amber said, it has a really awesome soundtrack. Like I knew
Oh,
the songs went.
Okay, so what was better, this soundtrack or the first movie soundtrack?
I don't remember.
I really think the first one. That's just me.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a good soundtrack. Don't get me wrong.
Where does this rank? Does this soundtrack rank in the top 10 of all time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that actually means a lot coming from you.
Yeah. It's got a little
What do you think, Sarah?
classic music on there.
Top 10 soundtracks of all time. Where does this rank?
I don't know. Like.
Really? Work with me now. Come on now.
Tap this video.
Well,
No,
my
Amber.
favorite soundtrack is Queen
Look,
of the
for
Damned.
somebody who screwed up the intro, don't tell me no Amber.
I did it on purpose because this is Guardians of the Galaxy. And I thought it'd be neat to be fun. Neat.
Yeah. No.
Oh, you're so punny.
Anyway.
But yeah, this was a really good movie. And they didn't really, this was like more of a standalone movie. The first movie really tied into the overall Marvel Universe with the Infinity Stones, and Thanos made several appearances. Thanos did not appear in this. He was mentioned a few times. But...
Well, this movie was meant for character development.
Yeah, and there was zero broad-reaching instances of anything happening in this movie that was going to affect overall outside of the franchise. This was a self-contained movie.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. If you want people to be attached to the characters, you've got to develop their character.
With
period.
The exception of at the very end. Now, this is spoilers. This goes without saying.
Right, because this is on Netflix now. So.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I think at that point we're past spoiler territory. And I think there's been one. This was the last movie before Thor, right? Ragnarok.
Yeah, this was before then.
But there's not been another one besides Thor since.
I don't think so.
I could be wrong.
What about Spider-Man?
That don't count.
That don't count?
No, I've really had little to
count.
zero desire to see that movie.
Why?
Even though it's tied in with...
Why? I really want to see that movie.
I don't know.
Wait,
I really don't know because Michael Keaton's in it, playing the Vulture. And I love Michael Keaton.
Spider-Man.
I think I've only watched like one or two.
Well, this one's different from the Tobey Maguire ones, is it not?
Yeah, the Tobey Maguire, even the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man movies, they were like by Sony, and were in a whole other universe. They did not connect to any of the other Avengers, Marvel, Iron Man, whatever.
But the latest one does.
Yeah, Marvel struck a deal with Sony to use Spider-Man in their movies. And so now we've got, Sony still technically owns Spider-Man, but they're giving Marvel liberties with him. And so now we've got Spider-Man, we've got the Fantastic Four, X-Men, everybody under the same roof, finally. Finally. God, I can't wait. Because I'm almost betting that the X-Men will probably make at least a post-credits cameo appearance in Infinity War.
Oh,
It
yeah.
has to happen. If it doesn't happen, I'm going to be so pissed off.
When does that come out? What, like
Infinity War?
This summer.
May.
Yep.
okay.
The next Marvel movie that comes out is going to be Black Panther in
Gosh,
February.
yes, it's February. Joseph's actually very excited. He wants to watch that movie.
I'm not overly excited, but this is what I'm going to have to see in theaters because it's the last one before Infinity War. Have to see it. And I really need to watch Spider-Man on Blu-ray before we go see Black Panther.
I would love to go see it. I would love to watch that, rather.
Like, I could actually, at some point over the next 6 months, I'm going to make an attempt to try and go and get all the Marvel movies on Blu-ray.
That'd
like
be cool.
the core movies.
Uh-huh.
And just have like a little shelf of them.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Just because I'm planning on at some point, maybe next Christmas, that we take a week off watching all of them.
Oh yeah, that'd be.
That
so
would be
fun.
a neat project.
Which movies?
Maybe
All
we
the
can
Marvel
get Sarah off with us.
movies.
Like which
all the-
ones though?
The ones that
Oh, I'll go
tie
ahead
in
and
with-
say it's like a 28-hour
Oh.
ordeal now.
Yeah.
Think about it. You got
Oh
three.
my. Oh no.
You got 3 Iron Man movies, 3 Captain America movies, now 3 Thor movies.
I like the Thor movies.
A Spider-Man
I really like the Thor
movie.
movies.
I like the Captain America.
2 Avengers movies,
I like the
2
Avengers.
Guardians of the Galaxy,
Mm-hmm.
Ant-Man,
Mm-hmm. About to be Black Panther.
Black Panther by then, Infinity War by then, so it'll be 3 Avengers movies. Doctor Strange.
Yes.
That's one I want to see.
It's okay. It wasn't my favorite. We watched it. It was on here, I think.
Doctor Strange is actually really good. I enjoyed it.
I didn't care for it that much. But
It's
it is
more,
what it
it's
is.
the mysticism, more magic and,
Yeah.
you know, stuff
it
like
was
that.
neat, but it wasn't my favorite.
But yeah, we're going off in like whole other territory. I want to do
Yes.
like an overall Marvel video at
This
some
is supposed
point.
to be a review. This is probably why people stop watching 2 minutes in, because we're talking about bullshit that has nothing to do with it. We're like,
But,
this is a review. Why are they talking about this?
we do tend to get sidetracked here at Untitled Nerd Network.
Yes.
And if you're noticing also that the my side is a little darker than that side over there, it's because we have some lighting issues, and I'm hoping to go remedy that here in about 20 minutes.
He's really going to the dark side.
So anyway, the movie
Dark side.
overall, it starts out, we actually see Kurt Russell.
Oh, I know.
He plays
Oh,
Ego,
Snake.
the living planet, and we see a flashback to young Ego, because at this point he's and it really makes me wonder, if he's millions of years old, why does he appear young in the early 80s, but appears as an old man?
Well, because his corpse, or his body's aging, not himself.
Okay, so he will eventually shift
Yeah.
into the planet again and probably create
It's
another
just
body.
how would you say it? Not a skin. It's just a
shell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like, when a snake gets bigger, it sheds its skin.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Once-
I figure it's like an extension. But anyway, yeah, we see a little bit of like him and Peter Quill's mom.
yeah.
In their heyday, and we eventually find out. Well, the opening did a really good job in this movie. Where they're fighting the big evil monster and Baby Groot's dancing around.
Dancing around, not giving a shit.
It really
he is
establishes the characters.
Yes.
Because, you've got Baby Groot dancing around not caring or even really knowing what's going on. And,
Yes.
like the
Everybody's
overall...
fighting, and then, crap, I lost his name. Dwayne Johnson's character?
That is not
His name?
Dwayne Johnson. It's Batista.
Yeah,
I
Batista.
was just kidding.
Oh, God.
Shut up.
Drax the Destroyer is his name.
I've seen you screw up worse things. Shut up right now.
Dwayne the Destroyer.
You're about to make me leave this video if you don't quit aggravating me. Got it out.
Anyway.
Anyway, he thought he was going to be smart and kill it from the inside.
And he thought he did it,
Oh.
but come to find out they had spotted
Because
it.
he's like, it's too thick to pierce from the outside. I
That's
have
what
to
she
go
said.
in.
Bless
And-
his heart. Bless his
You were
heart.
really trying me. You were.
He's not the most smartest in the world.
Yeah. You know, speaking of establishing characters, you know, he established he was not that intelligent.
Mm.
What was really funny is that part later whenever Ego says, you know, how he created his body and everything, and Drax is like, did you make a penis?
Oh yeah, because let's be real, that's what Lonnie would want to know.
No.
Well, it was like in Mallrats, you know, Jason Lee,
Mhm.
who played Brody, and they actually had a Stan Lee cameo. It was like Stan Lee cameos before Stan Lee cameos were a thing.
Yeah.
And like Stan Lee just randomly shows up at the mall. He had like a comic signing at a store, and so he walks up to Brody, who's sitting there just mulling over his relationship troubles, and like the first thing out of Brody's mouth is, "Hey, is the thing like made out of orange rock like the rest of him?"
Yes.
And then Stan Lee tells T.S. later in the movie, he's like, you might want to check on your friend. He has a weird fascination with superhero genitalia.
I need to watch Mallrats again. It's been a minute.
Oh, yeah. I had it on DVD, and the sound, it was one of those you had to turn the sound up to 100 to hear it. So I'm going to have to find a digital copy or something, because I need Kevin Smith's movies. But, I mean, this, it come to find out, you had a couple of major bombshells. And really the biggest one was that Ego was basically just trying to impregnate a woman from every race in the entire universe.
Yes.
And to try to make a celestial offspring. Peter
What a
Quill was the
hope.
only success. And he had actually, in a way, fallen in love with Peter's mom. And he kept returning to Earth. And he knew that if he did, he would eventually die. So, to keep himself from coming back again, he gave her cancer and killed her off because he knew he wouldn't be able to stay away from her if she was alive. So, I'm like, holy crap. So, that was like the bigger revelation and what really
I
caused...
really hated to give your mom that tumor, and then at that point in the movie,
He had lost him.
I
Yeah.
really hate to kill you.
I mean, and even though we had already seen it before, it was still a jaw-dropping moment
like,
because you really
wow.
can't believe someone would do that.
Exactly.
Because I could, you know, like I understand he's like, you know, I had to kill her. What a way to kill somebody with cancer. Let me tell you. Because there's a lot of suffering that goes into that.
Yes, there
He
is.
should have just killed her the way he killed all them kids.
I'm,
Well,
It's
why,
like, Lonnie, the living planet.
why didn't he just like leave her alone and just not like have anything to do with it?
I mean, you would think so. He was pretty fucked up in the head, if you ask me.
Well, I mean, any living being who clocks in at over 1 million years old is gonna have what we call mental issues.
Well, yeah.
The longer you're alive, I think, the less regard for human life you would have.
Right.
And it kind of plays in like Dr. Manhattan. The more omnipotent and the over all-seeing, all-knowing you are, you know, like, you don't think anything about killing a cockroach that runs through your house. He thinks of people and lesser beings like we think of bugs. Y'all, they're meaningless, you know. Oh, crap,
Yeah,
there's
but
a
even
gnat
though
on me,
we
you know.
think they're meaningless, they still have an instant death. I mean, that's my thing.
And then you've got,
He could have been more humane about it.
then you got some kids who burn bugs alive with a magnifying glass.
Exactly.
So that he's one of them kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Or he probably didn't take into account suffering.
He might not have, I guess.
And he wasn't
I
there
don't
to
know.
see it. So I'm sure it...
True. But at the same time, you know, it sucks, but, I mean, that's what
Think about
builds Peter as a character.
a 6-month
you know.
terminal illness to her is like a, you know, snap of the fingers. I'm sure time has no meaning to him.
To him, no.
So he probably didn't think anything about it.
Right.
But I mean that was the
Huh?
biggest.
Oh yeah, it does that after
Okay.
it says.
That was like the biggest revelation, really, in the entire movie, and
Yeah.
then the fact that Yondu died to save Peter,
Yes, that was
which
still heart wrenching.
in a way kind of made me mad because they already established in the first movie that Peter could survive limited time out in space.
Mm-hmm.
So surely he could have survived
But
long
he
enough.
didn't know that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yondu knew that.
He knew that. He was present for that. I didn't think he was. Now I could be wrong.
I don't remember, but if not, that is a very glaring plot hole. That he died unnecessarily. Now,
I
however,
would say that was unnecessarily.
they
I
did
mean-
spend like the first half of the movie. Sylvester Stallone's character in the Ravagers told him, that he would never enjoy the fruits of the afterlife of the Ravagers and everything, and then that all reversed when he sacrificed himself.
Exactly.
And they
He
showed up
had
for
to
the
make
funeral,
it right.
which,
Yeah.
in my opinion, was probably one of the most heart-wrenching scenes in Marvel to this point. The music
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of another scene that was just
I,
more touching than
I
that.
mean, I'll be honest. When we first saw this in the theater, I cried when I
Yeah.
saw it.
You did.
Now, I was actually spending about 3/4 of this movie mentally preparing myself to see it again. So
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's think of Richard Pryor's stand up, The Office, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Star Wars.
Yeah.
We're gonna think of Star Wars. But yeah, it was. It was. Man, it was rough.
I wasn't
But-
I wasn't crazy about his character in the first place, but when that happened, I was like,
You're like, he does have a heart.
yeah.
Yes.
And then it makes you wonder, like, if he hadn't have done that, like, what their relationship would be like. Would it change, or would it still be the same, or what?
With who? Between him and Peter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Are you like? What do you mean? Like if he
well, I
hadn't
mean,
done what?
if he hadn't have been like, I'm gonna eat you, and that sort of thing, if hadn't have been so hard on him
Well,
growing up.
Yeah.
I
He
think
was. He
he,
was
he
very
kind of
hard on
had
him.
to be in a way
Yeah.
because look at the crowd they were running with. The ragtag bunch of space pirates,
True.
and I mean, you never know the way that he was rough on him probably
And
saved
even
his
though
life.
he was rough on him, he still, because his crew called him out on it and was like, you go too easy on him. Da da da. You're willing to risk us for him. And us, when they were overtaking him.
Yeah. Oh, what'd you think about Taserface?
God.
That was great.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so glad he's gone.
Rocket. He was all like, that was the name you came up with?
That was like a running joke. It really never got old. They ended it at the perfect time. Because even though like they had kind of played it out with Rocket, and then you forgot about it, and then as he's like burning alive, and he's like, here's the location, and I want Yondu to know who sold him out, and he tells that that
Taser
royal
face.
woman, he's like Taser face, and
And
she
she's
just starts
like,
laughing on the screen.
That was great.
Amazing to say the least. But yeah, I mean, great. Anything else? I'm like, really? I mean, I don't want to sit here and go through the entire plot detail for detail.
Yeah, because it's
We'll
such
be
an
here
old
for
movie.
2 hours.
I
But
do miss original Groot. That still makes me a little bit sad.
he'll be back next time we see the Guardians.
Oh yeah, by the time we see them.
Because he's
then-
already teenage Groot in the
Yeah.
end of it.
I know, but they were. Wait a minute, I can't. It's been so long since I've seen the first one. Didn't they just cut him down? Isn't that what happened?
No, he had created like he used himself to create a big shell
Yeah.
around everybody and to
Okay.
protect everybody, and then he broke apart when they hit the ground,
So he
Yeah.
and Rocket got a piece of him and planted him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
See,
then
it's been so long since I've seen the first one.
yeah,
Because at the end he's in the pot dancing.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's still the same group then.
Yeah, it's still the same group.
Okay, I feel better now. It's been a minute.
Well, did they show him in the Infinity War preview when they showed them?
I don't know because remember during whenever Thor shows up, he was like, "Who the hell are you guys?" and it shows the Guardians. I don't remember if
I don't
Groot's in the
remember if he
group or
was
not.
in the group or not, though.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing him. We'll have to look up the trailer afterwards and check that out again. But yeah,
Well, I know. I like the Avengers.
I mean, I love the. Actually, believe it or not, the first Avengers movie was like one of my least favorite movies of the whole franchise. I just didn't care for it. Age of Ultron did it a bit better. Just because I like Ultron as a villain. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I love that movie, and I still think that they did a crappy job with Ultron. Because he's not supposed to be taken on by a team. There's actually, every time Ultron gets defeated, he comes back months or years later in a bigger, better version of himself. I think they're up to like Ultron version 9 or something like that. Yeah. And there's actually a point where he actually eventually takes over the world, and they go back in time to stop him from doing it. They have to put something in his original programming. And I mean, it's just creepy. Ultron's big time. And that, like, what kind of made me mad, like, Age of Ultron was a disappointment to begin with, because the Age of Ultron comic book was that story where he had taken over the world and they were going back in time to stop him. But they didn't do that with that movie, and it was like the introduction to Ultron, when Age of Ultron should have been the big, he took over, we have to go back in time to stop it story, and it wasn't.
It is what it is.
Anyway, 1 to 10. What's our ratings for this movie?
Well, 1 to 10, Sarah.
10. I love Guardians. I don't think either one of the movies is disappointing me.
Yeah, I give it a 10 too. It's a movie I could watch.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 10. I started doing 9.5, and I was like, I can't really find anything wrong with this movie.
No, I can't either.
Yeah.
Like, here's a weird thing.
Not
like,
to mention the soundtrack. Oh,
yeah.
Killer.
If people wonder like how I do my rating system, believe it or not, I like some 10s better than others.
Oh yeah.
Because like it's almost
like
like
I rated both these movies a 10, but I kind of really liked the first one better.
Yeah. Like, these movies are perfect to me, but you have to rate them somehow.
Music is what does it for me, and the first soundtrack's better.
Okay.
Music sets the tone for everything.
I personally...
And that's saying a lot, because there's a Fleetwood Mac song on this album.
I have loved... between seeing both movies and listening to both soundtracks, and then looking again in the past 6 months at both soundtrack listings, hands down, I like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 better, as far as soundtrack's concerned.
I mean, it's a good soundtrack. I'm not going to deny it.
The Fleetwood Mac song, the father and son that they played during Yondu's funeral.
Oh, God, yes.
Brandy, I love that song. I mean, it's just one right after the other. And, like,
Karaoke
I don't know.
with Single Sarah.
Yes. See, only here, not in person.
I know. I can't get her to sing them when we do karaoke.
All right. Well, anyway, we're you will be singing eventually on here.
What?
Anyway, we'll see everybody later. That's it for our Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 review.
Somebody help me.
Sorry. I'm doing America.
I am Lonnie.
I'm Amber.
I'm single Sarah. That is not why I'm single.
And we are Untitled Nerd Network, brought to you by Infinity Flux out of Hickson, Tennessee. And this has been our Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 review. Just watched it on Netflix. Check it out. Good movie. And thanks for watching.